Good morning. It is morning. It's 5:25 in the morning. My cat woke me up around 4 o'clock. I used to think her name is Z, as in the last letter of the alphabet. I used to think she was disturbing me when she would awaken me. But I'm realizing that she's like an alarm clock, because time, has no meaning in my life right now. Put it this way, it doesn't have a lot of meaning. And I'm learning that I'm not supposed to get up at 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock. It doesn't matter what time it is. If there's a need for me to get up and do something like sit still or read or make breakfast, it shouldn't depend on time. That may not be the way it is with you, because you've got jobs that depend on time. The world runs on time. And anyway, I haven't talked to people for a while because of health issues, of this cancer thing that I was diagnosed with back in February, and unsure of how to deal with it. And I decided, as I got my insurance, my Medicare, I turned 65 recently, Medicare and Medi-Cal, great insurance. I'm so grateful for Social Security and Medi-Cal, California's Medicare, that now I can go see doctors, go to hospitals, and get treated. Because I've had some scares recently. See, that's the problem, fear. So I'm not scared. I'm not scared anymore. And I have some confidence now because I'm going to see doctors. I have a primary physician who introduced me to an oncologist who talks to me like a friend, and he's nothing but upbeat, positive. Both doctors are. And so I'm totally expecting to be healed. I've got a lump under my arm, okay? Pretty big, isn't it? It doesn't worry me anymore because, we do these things to ourselves. And when the ego is involved, we do it to ourselves too, in order to be sick, to be a victim, or to kill us. But I'm going to use this as a tool. You might hear Z. She's very playful in the morning. See, it depends on our attitude how we look at things. I could have looked at her as waking me up, which I've already done, and gotten a little disturbed. Or I'll see her as an alarm clock, which enables me to be happy with her that she wakes me at a proper time to be able to, transfer some learning from A Course in Miracles to the practical experience in my life and to you. So I'm using this cancer thing as a means to forgive. Forgiveness is one of the biggest keys in A Course in Miracles. And one of my final unforgivenesses has been towards the American Medical Association, who in the past I set it up to be able to be angry at them. They did nothing. We do it to ourselves. But now I'm using the medical association, the medical profession, as a tool to heal me. And I totally trust that that's what's going to happen. Sometimes I get witnesses from a friend that I might talk to, but I'm also getting strong witnesses from the doctors that I have, because they give me confidence and even some certainty. And I'm reading from A Course in Miracles, Chapter 2, and text number 4, Healing as Release from fear. Because fear is the main thing. As long as you got that fear, the sickness can stay with you. When you get rid of the fear, pretty much the healing's going to go too. And I don't have fear right now. I haven't had it for a while, really. And so, although this lump was under my arm, it's as good as gone. It's like it's not even there. Okay? And it's not going to happen through the miracle of my mind. It's going to happen through the miracle, well, my mind will be used. The miracle will happen through people, through the medical profession. And I'll be able to get back to you and talk to you about how it happened. And you'll see that the lump will be gone. So, this chapter, Healing as Release from Fear, it says our emphasis now is on healing. The miracle is the means. The atonement is the principle, and healing is the result. What is atonement? First of all, the word atonement is at one ment. Okay? At one mentality, the way I say it. And I believe in that one mentality. But not totally. Because if I did, there would be no sickness, would be no fear, there would be no lump. I may not even be here on earth. Because although we believe these things, we must know them. Deep in our heart, we must know them. And that takes a while. That's a process. And so, atonement, at one mentality, in operation here in our lives, actually means to undo what we've learned in the past. To undo that and learn the new. And so that we can have the knowledge of who we are. And once we have that, that's total success. Nothing else bad can happen to us. And we probably won't be here on earth. We'll be back into the heart of God, heart of our source, whatever you want to call God. So, the atonement is an undoing. It's an undoing of fear. So as I unlearn all the old principles and forgive everybody, nobody can be excluded. It's difficult to receive everybody. Somebody might aggravate you, and you got to forgive, because that person is you. You are me, and I am you. There's only one mind. It's the mind of perfection, the mind of love. And so it excludes nobody through them doing something to you. Because actually what happens is you do it to yourself. You set it up that way. Because everything is a projection of your mind. And these are things that you may not be able to accept right at the moment. But these are things I'm finding out to be true as I go along. And so we're using this cancer thing as a way to complete my forgiveness of the one son, which includes everybody. You, everybody. That's what it includes. There's only one. And so we're undoing fear. The miracle is the means. Miracle's hard to understand. I read something that I want to go to right now. All material means that you accept as remedies for bodily ills are restatements of magic principles. Magic is something that we think is real here. Like this body. When I think this body is real, that's magic, because the body's not real. The body is a bunch of atoms and floating around, It has a brain, which is the same thing. But the mind is what operates the body. And most of us, all of us here on earth, have been mindless. We don't realize we have a mind. We think the body is planning and the brain is planning. But they do nothing. You know, at the end of this body, the body and the brain will lay down. The body can't tell you how you feel. Can't tell you anything. It doesn't feel anything. The mind does all that. And so, all material means, the body, that you accept as remedies for bodily ills are restatements of magic principles. And this is the first step in believing that the body makes its own illness. The body can't make anything. It can't tell you how you feel. Well, it can't tell you if it feels good or if you feel bad. It comes from the mind. Now, it is a second misstep. That was the first misstep, to think that our body's real. I can't deny that it is. I think that I'm a body, and I think that I'm talking to bodies. I think that I'm actually talking to minds. But when I see you, I think that there's a body there. But this is not correct. You know, there is no body here. This is a dream, and we made it up. So it's a second misstep to attempt to heal through non-creative agents, like medicine, which I use. I use medicine for high blood pressure. And I'm using doctors. They are non-creative agents. Doctors are bodies. I'm using these doctors, these non-creative agents, to heal me. It's Miss Z. Okay, so it does not follow, however, that the use of such agents for corrective purposes is evil. It's not evil for me to do this, to use doctors or medicine, because it's for corrective purposes. It's to correct my mind. In other words, I will get forgiveness for the medical profession. And I've had unforgiveness for such a long time towards them that this is what it's going to take for me to totally forgive. Well, what happens if he makes a mistake and something comes out wrong? Well, I'm not seeing that happening at all. I'm seeing everything to come out the way I see it happening. And because as you do A Course in Miracles over a period of years, and as you get still and as you get quiet, and as you allow the source in you, your true self, your capital S true self, as you get quiet and as that comes to the surface, you gain more certainty about what's happening. As we continue here with this reading, sometimes the illness has a sufficiently strong hold over the mind to render a person temporarily inaccessible to the atonement, to the undoing. And, cancer and things like that will cause fear. And when fear is there, it won't allow you to go past the brain and go back into the mind where the atonement is, where the undoing is. And so we have to operate, and although I know that's there to a degree, I have to use what the world has for me here. Even though I know deep inside that the world isn't real, I still believe that it is. And so, in this case, it may be wise to utilize a compromise approach to mind and body, in which something from the outside is temporarily given healing belief. Okay, the healing belief is that I can use doctors to help me be healed of this cancer thing. Okay, because the last thing that can help the non-right-minded or the sick, okay, let me call myself non-right-minded right now. It takes a while to become right-minded. It's a process. It may take a long time. It may take a short time. For me, I'm sort of in the middle there, because most of my life has been geared towards spirituality, Christianity, and then I went from that into A Course in Miracles, because A Course in Miracles for me is more practical. It works for me, whereas Christianity for me Was a looking forward and a asking help from an outside source. Jesus is out here somewhere. And now the help is coming from me, from my mind. I'm realizing my mind is the source of my help, my capital M mind. And so, the last thing that can help the non-right-minded or the sick is an increase in fear. You know, having fear is not going to help. So the idea is to get rid of the fear. And because they are already in a fear-weakened state. Sickness is a fear-weakened state. And if they are prematurely exposed to a miracle, they may be precipitated into panic. If the miracle happened to me, if the lump disappeared, because it's an illusion, if it disappeared, it could throw me into a panic. I may not be ready for that yet, although I think that I am. I may not be, and many may not be, if they were given a miracle. And that panic may stay in their lives, and it may not show and come to the surface very strongly, but it will be there, and that wouldn't be good, because panic is fear. And this is likely to occur when upside-down perception has induced the belief that miracles are frightening. And a lot of people are afraid of miracles. The value of the atonement does not lie in the manner in which it is expressed. The atonement, or the correction, the undoing, that's what atonement means, and it ends up being one mentality. It does not lie in the manner in which it is expressed. In fact, if it is used truly, it will inevitably be expressed in whatever way is most helpful to the receiver. I'm the receiver in this case. For me to receive this healing, the way it's going to be done is through a doctor. So that is the way it's going to be most helpful to me. And that way, I'll receive my healing, and I will also receive the forgiveness towards the American Medical Association, and pretty much that will complete my forgiveness towards the world. Not that I won't make a mistake and get aggravated at somebody later on, but in general, it will be total forgiveness from me. I might think that I have forgiven them already, and I feel like I have, but this will complete it by allowing them to, by trusting them to work on me, to give me my healing. The means of the miracle to attain its full efficacy must be expressed in a language that the recipient can understand without fear. I can understand this without fear, especially when I've been put in the path of physicians who are so positive. This is just part of my path. They speak to me with a degree of certainty. Now, my oncologist is looking for a surgeon right now. I'm not going to say that the surgeon is going to tell me you're 100% sure that your arm's going to be okay, that you'll be able to continue playing music. He might give me a 15-20% chance of the arm being disabled. You know, that could happen. I'm not really expecting that, because my oncologist said it should be no problem. But if that comes along, I'll deal with that, you know, as it happens, and I'll let you know what happens. Okay, now, this choice that I made for physicians, this does not necessarily mean that this is the highest level of communication of which he is capable. It does mean, however, that it is the highest level of communication of which he is capable now. So this is where I'm at right now. And the level of communication will increase as I continue with the course and with my life. The whole aim of the miracle is to raise the level of communication, not to lower it by increasing fear. And so that's a lot. And I'm going to look at this and see if it's worthwhile putting on, if it will help those who I think that I'm speaking to. And because, you know, I believe you're here, and I believe I'm here, And I believe to a degree that I have this cancer thing because for months I've been meditating and reading A Course in Miracles, and the lump has not went away. And the reason for that is what I've just spoken to you. And we'll continue with this as we go along. And let me check this out, see what it looks like, see if it's worthwhile putting on. Nice talking to you.